What's up guys, Shane Starnes here, and you finally received your LG G8. Today I'm going to show you guys the first 10 things that you should do to get the very best experience out of your LG G8. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I would do is set up the keyboard. One thing that I noticed instantly is that the keyboard does not have any type of swipe function set by default, but that's really easy to set up. So all you got to do is click on this little settings toggle there, and then you'll scroll down to where it says path input and toggle that on. Once you have path input toggled on, you'll be able to swipe your words. To me, it's just the most efficient way to type in Android, and I'm not really sure why it wasn't set by default. Luckily for us, it's super easy to turn on. While you're in the keyboard settings, you can also go ahead and change the height and layout of your keyboard. I kind of like the extra space, so I'll give it just a little extra space there. But that's another key setting for your keyboard. So one thing about the LG G8 that you'll probably notice right out of the box is that it is missing an app drawer. Whenever you download apps, or say you restored apps from your previous phone, you'll notice that there's just a ton of apps in no particular order on your home screen, which to me is just kind of a mess. So to clean that up, you can simply add the app drawer. To do that, you're going to swipe down, go to your settings, go to your display, go to home screen, go to select home, and then select this home and app drawer. That's going to take all of those app icons off your home screen and organize those into the app drawer. Now, while you're in the app drawer, you might as well go ahead and organize your app drawer. Go to the little settings and sort apps by, and go ahead and do that alphabetically. That's going to rearrange your apps in an easy to find way. The third thing that I would do is go ahead and customize your navigation bar. So the way that you would do that is go to your settings, display, and then you're going to go to the home touch buttons option. There is a gestures and buttons option. If you do enable this, this enables your swipe gestures. So this is pretty cool. You can actually go to your recent apps by swiping to the right. So this is a good way to multitask, and then you still have your back button and the home button. If you long press the home button, of course, that brings up your Google Now Assistant. And if you swipe up, that's going to bring up your recents. If you're not into the gestures, you can go back into your settings and your home touch buttons and go back to the buttons only, and you can customize the button combination. You can even add things like a quick notification pull down, a quick screen capture, and Q slide can all be added into the navigation bar. You can also rearrange the order of your buttons here. I prefer the back button on the far right because I've become used to Samsung's version of the nav bar. The fourth thing that you may want to do is to go ahead and hide the notch. Now, an easy way to do that is just to download and install a dark wallpaper like the one you see here. LG actually has an option in their display settings to change the way that the notch appears. If you go to this option, new second screen, this allows you to modify the notch. I actually don't mind the standard notch, but you can select custom. That's going to hide the notch, so you still have, it's still usable space up here. It doesn't completely get rid of that space. It just darkens that notch area, and you can even change the color of the area surrounding the notch. For me, I'll just go with standard and use a darker wallpaper. While we're still in the display settings, you may want to go ahead and change the screen resolution. That's the fifth thing that I would do. It is set by default to 1080p. Now this can help save some battery life. If you want to take full advantage of all the pixels that this screen is capable of, go ahead and bump that up to the max resolution, and you'll have a QHD plus display with super high resolution. As much as you paid for this phone, you might as well take full advantage of this display. The sixth thing that you might want to do is go ahead and set up this floating bar. Now, some of you may remember from some of the older LG devices like the V20, the V30, and older devices like that, there was a literal second screen that would kind of serve as what this floating bar does. So here you see I've got quick shortcuts. You can add quick contacts here. You can add music controls. There's all kinds of quick access things that you can add to this floating bar. To set that up, you're going to go into your settings, general, and you'll go down here to where it says floating bar. You can turn that on, and then there are a few toggles here for shortcuts, screen capture, music player, and quick contacts. The seventh feature you might want to set up is air control. Now, air control allows you to use hand gestures to control your phone without touching your phone. It does seem a bit gimmicky to me because obviously you're holding your phone most of the time when you're using it, but maybe you're in the middle of cooking something, your hands are dirty, or maybe you work somewhere like in a garage and your hands are covered in grease. You can't actually touch your phone, but you need to access something inside your phone. That's where air control comes in handy. So you've got a few things here. You've got shortcut and capture, control music and videos, and control calls and alarms. So you can actually answer your phone with a hand gesture. You can turn on this show hand guide. I have it turned on while I'm learning to use it, but essentially the way this works here is once you have it set up, you can wave your hand in front of the phone until you see this little bar here that indicates that you're in the air control mode, and then you'll adjust your hand. All right, so now I have a few options here. I can either go to YouTube, or I could have went to music, and then I can actually play or pause. So the way that I'm doing that, I'll try to show you a little bit better here. So I'm waving my hand in front of the screen here until it recognizes that I have my hand. Then I'm changing the position of my hand so it knows that I want to do air control. And now I can play or I can pause a YouTube video, all without touching the phone. Pretty cool feature if your hands were really gross and you didn't want to touch your phone. And you can also do this while the phone is laying on a table. The 8th thing that you'll want to do is go ahead and set up your quick toggles. Now, the first 6 here are the ones that you're going to access with one swipe down. If you swipe down twice, you can access all of your quick toggles. You can rearrange these, and I would suggest that you make the first 6 the ones that you would use the most. If we go into edit, you can kind of drag and drop. So maybe I won't really use NFC a lot, but I will use my flashlight. And maybe I won't use capture a lot, but I will use the flashlight. Maybe I will use airplane mode more than data. And mainly you just want to make sure that the first 6 are the most important ones to you, because those are the ones that show up whenever you swipe down once. Now you have these extra icons here that you can drag and drop into your panel. And of course you can remove some. So if you know for sure that you'll never use capture, you can remove it. Also, once you've made your changes, make sure that you do click the check button, and that will save your changes. The 9th thing that you'll want to do is go ahead and set up your shortcuts. Things like swiping down on your fingerprint scanner to bring up your notification panel and double tapping the power button to launch the camera. These are shortcuts that are not set up by default, but you can go into your settings, go into your general, go into shortcuts, and simply toggle on any of these shortcuts that you would like to enable, such as the open camera with the power button or a view notification with the fingerprint sensor. The 10th and last thing that I would always do when setting up a new phone is go ahead and set up your do not disturb. This is going to allow you to get a restful night's sleep because you're not going to hear your phone buzzing and ringing over, pointless Facebook posts and Twitter posts, things that really don't matter, that shouldn't be keeping you awake. So go to your settings, go to sound, go to do not disturb, and you can go into use do not disturb turn on. You can select your priorities, and you can actually set up a schedule. So if you set up a priority, the priority will be able to get through even when you have do not disturb turned on. You can do that for certain applications that you still want to be notified, and people that you want to be able to get through, you can go ahead and set that up there too. That way, if there's an emergency, your family will still be able to reach you. All right, guys, so we could probably go on and on with these little settings and tweaks, but hopefully these first 10 things will help you to have the best possible experience on your brand new LG G8. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.